Hello students, in this video we will discuss about female reproductive system. In our last video we discussed about male reproductive system and along with that how the spermatogenesis will be takes place, what is the structure of sperm cell, etc. we discussed in our previous video, and in this video we will discuss about female reproductive system. When we observe the female reproductive system, there are mainly 4 functions are involved here. First one, ovulation. Second, fertilization. Third, parturition. Fourth, child care. Likewise, 4 important functions actually performed by female organism. In that, first two mainly takes place in the case of female reproductive system. Of course, some part of, that means development of the baby and releasing of the baby also takes place with the help of female reproductive system. And here, for the parturition case, they also involve external genitalia. External genitalia. So, along with external genitalia, female reproductive system also performs another function, that is parturition. That means baby development. And after that, releasing of the baby to outside is also called parturition. That parturition process. And this parturition will be performed by female reproductive system mostly. But in this case, external genitalia also involved in this case, or the structure mostly suitable for this parturition condition. And then another one, child care. To perform the child care, that means after the birth also mother will take care about their young one, and that is also called parental care. And that parental care will be performed by the mother by feeding their young one with the help of breast milk. And that breast milk will be produced by one pair of glands which are also called mammary glands. That are also called mammary glands. So, as a part of female reproductive system, we will discuss about different parts present in female reproductive system along with the external genitalia and mammary glands. These are the 3 important parts we will discuss as a part of female reproductive system. And first, we will discuss about parts present in female reproductive system. Now observe here, in female reproductive system, there is one pair of ovaries, one pair of oviducts, one uterus, cervix and vagina. Likewise, different parts are present in female reproductive system. Vagina, cervix, uterus, fallopian tube, ovary. Likewise, different parts are present in female reproductive system. Here one vagina, one cervix, that means this cylindrical part is also called cervix. And cervix connects with uterus, and this one is the means swollen part which is exhibiting inverted pear-shaped structure. That one is also called uterus. Uterus opens into one pair of oviducts or fallopian tubes. There is one pair of fallopian tubes, and these fallopian tubes consist finger-like projections at their terminal side. When you observe these fallopian tubes, these finger-like projections are also called fimbriae. These finger-like projections opens into one narrow opening. That opening is also called infundibulum. Infundibulum opens into one wide portion which is also called ampulla. And then ampulla opens into a long tube-like structure which is also called isthmus. Fimbriae, infundibulum, ampulla, isthmus. All are parts of, these four are the parts of fallopian tube. That means fallopian tube consists one long tube-like structure which is also called isthmus. And then isthmus connects with ampulla. Ampulla connects with infundibulum. Infundibulum ends as the finger-like projections which are also called fimbriae. Same kind of structure we can also observe here. Along with this, there is a pair of ovaries. And these ovaries connects with the female reproductive system with the help of thin layer. This thin layer. That means, for example, if the fallopian tube is present like this, ovary is present at this side. From the female reproductive system, there is one layer will be connects with the ovary. Ovary is present here. And this ovary connects with the fallopian tube by a thin layer. That thin layer is also called mesovarium. Mesovarium. And next, when you observe the uterus, here at the terminal side there is a swollen part which is also called uterine fundus. Uterine fundus. The cavity which is present inside of the uterus is also called uterine cavity. In this case, this uterus actually under normal condition, 8 centimeters length, 5 centimeters width. They exhibit 8 centimeters length and 5 centimeters width under normal condition. And when you observe this, uterus actually it is made by 3 type of layers. Uterus is made by 3 type of layers. That one. Epimetrium, myometrium, endometrium. epimetrium, myometrium and endometrium. In this case, when you observe that epimetrium, this outer lining is also called epimetrium and it is made by visceral membrane. Then, when you observe the middle portion, this middle portion which is thick in nature, that middle portion is actually made by myometrium. Myometrium is actually made by unstriped smooth muscles. So myometrium is made by unstriped smooth muscles. And when you observe this myometrium, it is thick in nature, connects with number of blood vessels, and during the embryo, when the embryo is completely formed after 9 months, to expel the baby to outside, this uterus will exhibit more contractions and relaxations so that baby will expel outside. That kind of contractions and relaxations actually exhibited by the myometrium. So, contractions and relaxations which are exhibited by the uterus during the parturition condition, mainly because of myometrium. And these myometrium made by unstriped smooth muscles. Coming to next one, that is endometrium. When you observe the endometrium, this inner lining which is present at the uterus region is also called endometrium. This endometrium is made by columnar cells, and in that some are exhibiting secretory nature also. Endometrium is made by columnar cells. In this case, when you observe this endometrium, some are exhibiting secretory nature. That means to secrete different type of secretions. And next, these endometrium also helpful to the implantation or to attachment of the baby. That means, for example, baby present here, this baby will attaches to the endometrial tissue. So, in this case, these endometrial tissue also helpful for the protection of baby by forming this placenta around side of the baby. And that is one situation. When we observe the menstrual cycle in females, menstrual cycle which takes place for every 28 days, we will discuss about the menstrual cycle in our next video. And here, during that, these endometrial tissue will be removed and releases outside as a menstrual fluid. So, endometrium is regularly forming tissue and that is helpful for growing embryo, for implantation purpose, for nutrition purpose or for protection purpose. And if the baby is not forming, if fertilization not takes place, then that endometrial tissue will be removed at the end of menstrual cycle as a menstrual fluid to outside. That endometrial tissue as the present in a uterus as an inner lining. Coming to another cylindrical portion. This cylindrical portion, that means where the uterus is connects with a narrow cylindrical portion, that portion is called cervix. And where the uterus is connecting with cervix, there a small opening is present. A small opening is present, which is also called cervical or internal OS. Internal OS or internal orifice. And cervix, when you observe here, middle side there is a small gap which is also called cervical canal. Cervical canal. This cervical canal opens into vagina through another opening. That opening is also called external orifice or external OS. External OS. When you observe these external OS, it is an opening present between cervical canal and vagina. Vagina is present downside of the cervical canal. In this vagina, when you observe here, vagina consists a small or thin layer, mucus layer, which is also called hymen layer. Hymen layer. And then vagina opens outside through external orifice, external genitalia. In this case, vagina or vaginal opening consists different type of muscular folds. All together is called external genitalia. We will discuss about external genitalia in our next video. And then when you observe this vagina, there is a thin layer is present, that is hymen layer. Generally, most of the people are considering the hymen layer as a symbol for virginity. But this hymen layer, it breaks, ruptures, that means there are lot of regions like playing or vigorous activities, vigorous exercises, whatever it is, this hymen layer may break at any kind of situation, and that's why it is not correct to consider the rupturing of this hymen layer as the symbol of virginity. Because of this, different type of harassment cases are raising. And to avoid that misconception, we are discussing about the hymen layer. Hymen layer is a thin layer present at vaginal region. This hymen layer considered as a symbol for virginity by the previous people or illiterates. But because if the hymen layer ruptured, they thought that they lost their virginity. But these hymen layer that means it is possible to break the hymen layer even with vigorous exercises or sports or different type of regions. There is a possibility to rupture the hymen layer. So, it is not correct to consider the rupturing of this hymen layer as a symbol of losing of virginity. And then, coming to next situation, when you observe the fallopian tube, in this fallopian tube, there is a ciliated epithelium is present. Ciliated epithelium is present. Inside of the fallopian tube, there is ciliated epithelium is present, because when you observe the ovaries, these ovaries are filled with number of follicles. Ovaries are filled with number of follicles. And during the menstrual cycle or every month, these ovaries alternatively, that means in 1 month, if these ovary releases ova, then in the successive month, another ovary will produce ova. Anyway, when the ova is releasing by the ovary, these ova are female egg will releases into body cavity. This ova will releases into body cavity. What is happening here? From the ovary or from the follicles, ova is releasing to outside. That releasing of ova is also called ovulation. This ova, now it is present in body cavity, or ovary is releasing that egg into body cavity. That kind of egg is also called coelomic egg. Coelomic egg. So here, ovary is releasing ova into body cavity. That's why this ova is also called coelomic egg. And that coelomic egg actually collects by this fallopian tube. For example, if it is ova, when the ciliated muscle or ciliated epithelium present in this fallopian tube, they will exhibit continuous contractions and relaxations. So that what will happen? This ova will be sucked into fallopian tube. That means this ova will suck by the fallopian tube. And here at the ampulla region, it waits for 24 hours. Lifespan of ova is 24 hours. When the sperm cells are enters through the vagina, through the cervical canal, through the uterus, through the fallopian tube, when it is reaches to ampulla region, here sperm cells will fuses with the ova and conducts fertilization. That means fertilization takes place in which part? Ampulla region. So at the ampulla region, ova will wait for 24 hours. That is the lifespan of ova. And in this case, ovum is non-motile in nature. Ovum is non-motile in nature. So that what is happening? Here it is releasing into body cavity. And from that, fallopian tube or ciliated epithelium present in fallopian tube is actually exhibiting contractions and relaxations continuously. And that ciliary movements or sucks the ova into this fallopian tube. Likewise, this female reproductive system consists of different parts. One is vagina, cervix, uterus, and then fallopian tubes, one pair of ovaries. And in this case, ovaries are called as primary sex organs because gamete formation takes place at ovaries. And remaining all parts like oviduct or fallopian tube, uterus, this cervix, vagina, all are considered as secondary sex organs. Here, these fallopian tubes or female reproductive system actually formed from Mullerian duct. At the embryonic level, female reproductive system formed by Mullerian duct. So, from the Mullerian duct, all these female reproductive system parts, especially tracts like fallopian tubes, are formed from this Mullerian duct. And we already discussed that male reproductive system formed from Wolffian duct. That is information related to female reproductive system. And now we will discuss about external genitalia. Okay. External genitalia can be observed where the two hind limbs are joining with the body cavity or male body cavity. At that region, we can observe these external genitalia. In this external genitalia, there are different parts are present. Two hind limbs. When you observe these two hind limbs, where the two hind limbs are joining with each other, at that place we can observe this external genitalia. And between the two hind limbs, there is a thick cushion-like tissue is present. Cushion-like tissue is present, which is also called mons pubis. Mons pubis. At the mons pubis, there are a number of hair-like structures are present. Which are also called pubic hair. Pubic hair. That means cushion-like tissue which is present between the two hind limbs, that is also called mons pubis. And on the mons pubis, there are a number of hair-like structures which are also called pubic hair. And here there is a large skin folding is present. Large skin folding is present. Which is also called labio majora. Labio majora. And within the labio majora, there is another opening is present. another skin fold which is present within the labia majora. That skin fold is also called labia minora. Labia minora. That means there are two skin foldings. One is large one, which is also called labia majora. Observe here, this labia majora is said to be homologous to scrotal sac. Labia majora is the last skin folding which we can observe in external genitalia. That labia majora is said to be homologous to scrotal sac. And then inside of the labia majora there is another skin folding is present which is also called labia minora. And these labia minora, where they are fusing with each other at that region, they consist one erectile structure, small erectile structure is present where the two labia minora folds are fusing at that region. One erectile structure is present. That erectile structure is also called clitoris. Clitoris. And then inside of the labia minora there are two openings are present. Two openings are present inside of the labia minora. One is urethral opening. Urethral opening. That means through the urethral opening they releases urine to outside. At the surrounding side of the urethra, there is a pair of glands. There is a pair of glands which are also called skin glands. So skin glands are present at the lateral sides of the urethral opening. Urethral opening mainly helpful to release the urine to outside. Anyway, glands which are present at the lateral side of the urethral opening is also called skin glands or paraurethral glands. These skin glands are mainly helpful for the sexual or sexual excitement purpose. These skin glands will be helpful. At downside there is another opening is present. That opening is also called vaginal opening. Vaginal opening. And in this vaginal opening, at the inner side, that means here, they consist hymen layer. Next, when you observe here, besides of this vaginal opening, that means this one is vaginal opening, and at the sideward direction of this vaginal opening there is another pair of glands which are also called Bartholin glands. Bartholin glands. Bartholin glands are present at the sideward direction of which opening? Vaginal opening. And these vaginal opening mainly helpful to enter the sperm cells into female reproductive system, or to send the baby to outside, or to release the menstrual fluid to outside. For that purposes, there is a large opening which is also called vaginal opening. Vaginal opening at the bottom side they consist a thin layer which is also called hymen, and vaginal opening outside sideward direction of that vaginal opening, there is a pair of glands which are also called Bartholin glands. These Bartholin glands releases mucus to outside. These Bartholin glands releases mucus. That mucus helpful to increase the lubrication in vagina. In vagina, to improve the lubrication, these Bartholin gland secretions will be helpful. And remember that these Bartholin glands are said to be homologous to bulbourethral glands of male reproductive system. Bartholin glands are homologous to bulbourethral glands present in male reproductive system. And then when you observe the skin glands, these skin glands are said to be homologous to prostate gland. Labia majora is homologous to scrotal sac. And there is a erectile structure where the labia minora is fusing. That is nothing but clitoris. Generally, it is said to be the homologous to penis. Likewise, different type of parts present in external genitalia. In this, urethral opening is helpful to release urine to outside. Vaginal opening, it is helpful to release the baby to outside or to release the menstrual fluid to outside. At the same time, helpful to inject the sperm cells into female reproductive system. And there is a pair of glands, one is skin glands, one pair of Bartholin glands. Skin glands helpful to increase sexual excitement, or Bartholin glands releases mucus which will be helpful to increase the lubrication in vagina. Likewise, different parts are present in external genitalia, and downside there is another opening which is also called anus. And of course, it is related to digestive system, or to release the feces to outside, they use anus. And anyway, it is not the part of this external genitalia. We need to discuss about all these parts. In external genitalia, what are the parts are present? One is labia majora, labia minora, clitoris, Bartholin glands, hymen layer, vaginal opening, urethral opening, and then skin glands. Likewise, different parts are present in external genitalia. In our next topic, we will discuss about mammary glands.